So on part one of this rear subframe bushing swap, I had mentioned that I'd seen what looked like potentially aftermarket bushings already in it. And thankfully, when I dropped the subframe, it was just these little end caps that mount over the stock bushings. So these things, not sure how effective they are. I'm assuming they're probably just a cheaper and easier way to attain some sort of stiffer suspension and maybe better traction and or handling. I'm sure by replacing each corner with full solid subframe bushings that it's going to translate to a much better handling and response characteristics for the race car. But this guy, I'm not sure exactly which link this is, what its specific name is, but I'm going to go ahead and say that ain't right. I think I'm going to have to replace that. Put the cup on the bottom. It fits like it was made to fit this little corner. It doesn't stop the full travel of the whole ball joint coming out. So kind of just straighten this guy out and impact it downward. Correction, I'm going to try the shallower cup first just to get this ball joint a little loose and out of position, and if need be I'll continue with the deeper cup. Alright, try again. Okay, let's try this again. And she's up. Of course, juggling this heavy ass thing with this in one hand, the lower control arm and the impact on the other, it can create somewhat of a headache, but once you get the angles right and you get everything tightened down, just a couple hits with the impact and you're all good. So just to give you guys a little update what I've done off camera, this is one of the lower control arms. I burned out the rubber bushing and then had to cut and remove the sleeves. Get a nice punch and a good hammer and go to town. And then on the knuckles, the 3 points on the knuckle, I basically just used a 19mm impact socket with my bushing removal tool from Harbor Freight and my impact 3/4 half-inch drive impact wrench, and it worked great. What's up, guys? It's the next day. Anyway, control arm from yesterday. I was doing the inner sleeves, burned out the bushings, and had to cut out the inner sleeve. This word of advice: instead of doing what I did, attempting to not put any groove, score, any kind of cut on the actual control arm inner diameter, it's really almost impossible. You just gotta cut all the way through, save yourself the headache, and if you put a little cut in this inner diameter, don't worry about it. Just smooth it out and get ready to put your bushings in. So So the bushings, I got one in. I did go with, like I said earlier, the energy suspension. If you guys are wondering the part number, it is 7.3115 Romeo. This has everything, all the bushings for the lower control arm, as well as the knuckles. I got it going. It did slip a little bit to the side, but with just a little bit of force to center it while you simultaneously hit the drill, it'll eventually slide into place. But from here, now I'm hitting the other washer. So what I did is I just backed it off a 1/4 inch or so, and then just with a mallet whacked it on this side, and it pops it all the way through so that this lip eventually makes it all the way out and on top of the control arm. And that's it. So now we'll get the sleeving. Whew. Okay. So I'm down to my last bushing. And if you were wondering, yes, it's been an all-day event. So basically, I did saw it down as best as I could. And it does have the bushing still in there. So unfortunately, when I'm sawing through the rubber and hitting the metal, I can't gauge as well as I would if there was no rubber how much of the metal the saw has already taken out and when I've made it through the sleeve and to the frame. What I'm doing is with this beefy wedge, I'm just hammering so word from the wise. If you've got the appropriate area to burn out the bushings, just do it. Burn them all the way. With the rubber there, creates a big headache. It obstructs your view. You still end up scoring it a little bit. This one, these are a lot shallower, but still scored them. So probably should have just taken the time and singed the rubber all the way gone, but I didn't, so made it a lot harder on myself. Don't do that. What up, everybody? I did want to throw this little clip in at the end of this whole subframe project. As you could tell, my editing skills are super rook. There's portions of the footage I lost, and it kind of skips and jumps and whatnot, and I do apologize. I am working on this and I will get better. So subframe is in. I got little bits and pieces of footage I'm gonna clip together. What's up everybody? So installing the brake with the knuckle back onto the subframe, and since I went ahead and installed the GK Tech subframe reinforcement kit, which I'm happy for and glad I made the purchase, but my e-brake cable that is supposed to route through this portion of the subframe, well, here's one of the plates and they have these 2 lightning holes, but if you look here, this piece, but it wouldn't fit through the diameter of the hole, so I had to make a little modification, drilled a little hole, filed it down, and now we're good. So now finally the subframe is in. She's ready to be lowered and ready to rock and roll. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next portion of the project.